This video is sponsored by NewType. They're one of the largest online hobby stores where you can get your hobby kits, tools, and everything you need. Link in the description. Check them out. What's up GFam, this is Justin from Studio G and this is Tutorial Tuesday, and today we are going to talk about how do you mix paint and some color theory apps. Let's do this. First of all, let's talk about the tools that you need. You need a pipette or a pipette or something like that, and then mixing jars, or I use a plastic sauce containers with a lid on. Next will be a digital scale that if it has a function that has a reset function, that would be awesome. If not, you just have to subtract out the weight of the containers. Next, make sure that you wear gloves and some tissues to keep your station clean. Last but not least, get on with some stirring sticks. You gotta be needing that. So before anything else, it's always good to determine your theme and your colors. It doesn't really matter if you're gonna be painting with lacquers, acrylics, or enamel, it doesn't really matter. And whenever I come up with the concept of a design of a Gunpla, I always make sure that I stick to a theme. Like, is it gonna be a dark theme, a light theme, or a golden theme? Is it fancy, or is it ugly, or is it weathered? Just stick with a theme. You can even use inspiration from a sports car, from a really nice graphic, from a show, from the anime itself. It doesn't really matter as long as you have a theme to work with. And once you got the theme set up, it's time to choose the main colors of the theme. And for choosing the colors, this is the app that I'm using. This is called a Pocket Palette. It's available on the App Store. I'm not really too sure on Android. You guys can search it up or something similar like that. It's really awesome because you can add as many panels as you need. And then for every panel, you can choose the colors that you want, and then you can save them, and you can even pick the colors from your library, which means that you can actually take a photo of something, and if you really like the color of that something that you just took the photo of, you can actually pick the colors from that photo. So this app is awesome. It's totally free. I'll link it down below in the description. Next, what I would do is I would open up the preview panel, and then I will see the hex code. So hex code is the one with the hashtag followed by 6 digits at the back. What I do is I use that as a reference, and then what I do is I go to my browser on my computer, on your phone, type in trycolors.com, and in trycolors.com just type in the hex code that you have on your Pocket Palette app, and then just click formulate. And by clicking formulate, you can literally see what are those colors made of. Like for example, the color orange that I have here is made of 1 part red and 1 part yellow. So that's pretty easy, right? So if we look at the gray one, we can see that it's actually made from multiple parts of colors, like 1 part white and 2 parts black, and 2 parts black and 1 part white, and so on. And if you scroll down even more, you can see even more information about that color itself. So now you have the formulas, it's time to get on to the mixing. Remember this, if you're not mixing any colors, straight on, get on with the thinner, and the safe zone ratio would be 10 part paint and 3 to 5 parts thinners. Remember that. It doesn't really matter it's acrylic, lacquer, or enamel, it works on all paint. That is the safe zone. So when it comes to mixing colors, do not take account in any thinners yet when you're doing the mix. Okay, do it afterwards, after you're done with the mix and you got the color correct, then only you add in the thinners. So first thing first, get all your tools ready, lay it out on the table, and then start mixing the colors based on the results that you get from trycolors.com. I trust that website 100%. It gets me right 100%. I wish I found this website a lot more sooner. And for pouring the colors into your mixing jar, you can use a pipette, which I don't really recommend because the colors are really hard to get rid of inside the pipette itself. You'll be wasting a lot of airbrush cleaner and thinners itself. So what I would do is I would use a mixing stick instead, and to guide my paint down into my container. And then remember this, to use the scale for ratio, and remember this as well, 1 millimeter equals to 1 gram. Okay, so if your digital scale doesn't show millimeter, it doesn't really matter, just use grams instead. And for this orange that I'm trying to achieve, I'm going to use 5 millimeters of yellow as well as 5 millimeters of red. And then once you got the batch done, then only you add the thinners, 3 to 5 parts. In my situation, I find that the paint itself is a little bit too thick, so I add 4 parts of thinners instead to get that milky consistency, and then you will be fine. This is my personal recommendation for you guys to do like a 10 millimeters batch every single time you mix a paint so that you don't get the ratios wrong. I mean, 10 millimeters, that is like you can treat it as 100%, and then whatever shows in tricolors.com, just formulate it into the correct ratios. So when it comes to stirring, make sure that you stir really well with the stirring stick, and then after that make sure that you scrape the sides of the containers as well, and then mix those in. If not, it might jeopardize the color, it might make it lighter, or you might make it darker instead. So make sure that you stir them well. And another trick that I learned from my friend Stephen Hill is that you can always use an ultrasonic cleaner to mix your paint. So once I'm done mixing the paint with the stick, I would close up and I would make sure that the lid is closed, and then put it inside the ultrasonic cleaner, and then put in some water, so the water would act like a vibration medium, so that it would vibrate and it would do some ultrasonic magic to the paint itself, and stir it up really well so that you could get a really good mix. And just leave that on for 10 minutes. You can mix multiple colors all at once. For this tutorial, I'm only doing one color, but if you have like 5 colors mixed up, you can put it all together as long as your ultrasonic cleaner can fit it. Tip number 1, don't be afraid to mix up multiple batches of color, because you will never have enough. Because once you're done with this part, for example, and then when you look back, oh shit, I forgot to do the other one, I forgot to do this part, I forgot to do that part. Or once you're done with everything else, and then you drop your Gunpla, and then you scratch up a paint here and there everywhere, or when you're assembling it, you scratch it up or something, you can always use the extra batches that you make to make adjustments or to make corrections. Tip number 2 is that you don't need all the colors in the world, so you don't actually have to buy a lot of colors. Well, you technically only need red, green, blue, yellow, white, and black, and the rest of the colors can be mixed, you know? Tip number 3 is black and white are your best friend. You can literally get multiple shades of colors based on whatever you have mixed up just by using black and white. For example, let's name the orange that I made orange number 1, and by adding a little bit of black into it, I can make another shade of orange that I can call orange number 2. If I put in another batch of the orange that I made, some white, I can make it orange number 3. And basically, this is how you get harmonized colors, and it's really awesome to be used for color separation, or to be used on pre-shading or highlighting. Last but not least, tip number 4 would be to write down your formulas, because if you're mixing paint, you wouldn't want your phone to be near the paint itself, because you might spill and like accidents could happen, and then you could literally spoil or dirty up your phone unintentionally, and you would regret that. So what I would do is, if the paint mixture is too complicated, I would literally write it down on a piece of paper. And that's all for this tutorial. I hope you guys learned something today. If you like this kind of video, please like and share it to your friends and family who you think needs it. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell button beside to get notified every time I post a video, and then I'll see you guys next time. This is Justin from Studio G signing off. Bye-bye.